Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again. Welcome to the first of this week's reviews. We are in the United States. We're in Texas, and you're looking at El Paso International Airport in the state of Texas in the USA. It's Kilo Echo Lima Papa. This is a payware scenery by DOMINIC Designs, and you're looking at version 1.2 currently for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. There is another version by another developer released pretty much in the same month. I think it was August this year. To me, right off the top of the bat, this looks a little bit more detailed, and actually it's about €1 cheaper, which also is a really good thing. The download on this version is 782 meg, and it installs at 2.96 gigs, so just under 3 gigs, currently available from the Sim Market store. I'll give you the prices. It's €19.80, which equates to roughly $20.20 US, or £17.16 UK. US and UK prices are all estimates from the euro, and they do include tax or VAT, which of course may vary depending on the country you're in when you make your purchase. So the list of features: we have PBR texturing, dynamic lighting, real ground markings, custom painstakingly handcrafted pavement, showcasing all the imperfections including dirt, etc. Custom jetways, and you'll see that in the jetway test. Custom animation, object, passenger animation and train airport animation. And you can add AI aircraft parking codes there as well, so that's all installed. So I'll say right off the bat, this airport is pretty detailed. You can see from this shot it fits in pretty well with the default terrain. You're in a lovely location in the high mountains, and this is a high airport getting close to 4,000 feet, so you need to just be careful as a pilot. But visually the airport's been very nicely done, and I can quite highly rate it. It's really good, and yeah, it's €1 cheaper than the other version. But anyway, this really isn't meant to be a comparison. This is really an in-depth look at what I consider to be a really nice airport. So as ever, let's get to some history. So history: El Paso International Airport, Kilo Echo Lima Papa, is a public-use international airport owned by the City of El Paso and operated by the El Paso Aviation Department. The airport is located just 4 miles or 6 kilometers northeast of downtown El Paso in El Paso County in the state of Texas in the United States. It is the busiest commercial airport in West Texas, southern New Mexico and northern Mexico. Handled over 3 million passengers in 2022 with over 83,000 cargo operations. The City of El Paso built the first El Paso Municipal Airport near the east side of the Franklin Mountains in 1928. That airport was closed by 1945, and in more recent times that location has been home to the Joby Concrete Products cement factory. In 1934, Varney Speed Lines, now United Airlines, operated out of the original, now closed, El Paso Municipal Airport. That original airport construction was inspired by a visit from Charles Lindbergh. What became today's El Paso International Airport was built as Standard Airport by Standard Airlines in 1929 for transcontinental airmail service. During World War II, the airport was the United States Army Air Force's training base. Standard Airlines became a division of American Airlines in the 1930s. In 1936, American Airlines swapped airports with the City of El Paso, and El Paso International Airport was born. Standard Airlines began the first scheduled commercial passenger and mail service to El Paso on the 4th of February 1928, with a route to Los Angeles making stops in Douglas, Tucson and Phoenix, Arizona. The carrier began using a Fokker F-7 aircraft and soon upgraded to a Fokker 10 trimotor. From 1929 to 1931, Mid-Continent Air Express operated a route from El Paso to Denver, stopping at Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Vegas, Pueblo and Colorado Springs. From 1931 through 1934, West Air Express took over this route and extended it onto Cheyenne. The airport has 2 concourses, A and B. The terminal is a pier satellite layout with a central entrance and the gates branching out east to west on the two concourses. The airport has east and west concourses, with gates A1 to A4 being located on the west concourse and gates B1 to B11 located on the east concourse. The airport has a total of 15 gates. There's also a lower and upper level. The gates are located on the upper level and the ticketing, baggage claim, rental car and main entrance are located on the lower level of the terminal. El Paso Airport is a focus airport for Southwest Airlines, which accounts for over half of all the airport's passengers, and is also served by 7 major airlines, including Alaska Airlines, Allegiant Airlines, American Eagle, Delta, Frontier and United. Cargo airlines serving the airport include Amerijet International, DHL Aviation, FedEx, Freight Runners and UPS Cargo. The airport has an array of shops and restaurants including Black Mesa, Carlos and Mickey's, Starbucks, PGA Tour Grill and Tia's Mexican Restaurant. So there you are folks, that's a potted history. As you can see, this is quite the place. Been around for a while and lots really to look at. So for the moment, let's have a look at the runway configuration here. So runways, as you can see, we've lowered the lighting. It's a beautiful evening, 6, mid-October in 2023, and this is the view looking towards the east. El Paso Airport operates 2 main runways, with a third runway only available to aircraft with 9 seats or less. Runway 0422 is the longest, measuring 12,020 feet or 3,664 meters. Runway 08 right 26 left comes in at 9,025 feet or 2,751 meters, and finally the shorter runway for aircraft with 9 seats or less comes in at 5,499 feet or 1,676 meters. All the runways are constructed from asphalt. Runway 0422 and runway 08 right 26 left are grooved. The airport lies at a high elevation of 3,962 feet or 1,208 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -6 hours time zone. Now Texas, like many US states, observes daylight saving time or DST, and so is currently 7 hours behind the UK. Runway 04, and we're looking down the throat of it now, features high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system and precision approach path indicators on the left side, and as you can see this is all correct. This runway has a localizer with distance measuring equipment or lock DME landing option. There's also RNAV, GPS and RNP, X, Y and Z landing options on the charts too. So let's have a look at the other end, runway 22. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 22, the other end, and this runway also has the high intensity runway lighting system. Also has medium intensity approach light system with runway alignment indicator lights, and you can see those here. And precision approach path indicators, this time on the right side. So again, this is all correct as per the chart. Runway 22 features a standard instrument landing system and also RNAV, GPS and RMP, Y and Z landing options as well. So this area to the left also, by the way, is in the scenery, but it's not showing on the chart, so I can't really comment much on what that is, but we'll see that during the main tour. So let's go have a look at runway 08 right. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 08 right, which features high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system and precision approach path indicators also on the left side. And again, as you can see, this is all correct, and you've got this long lead-in taxiway here which you have to be careful not to mistake for a runway threshold or anything like that. So runway 08 for right features RNAV, RMP, Y and Z landing options only, no ILS on this runway. So let's check out the other end, 26 left. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 26 left, which also of course has the high intensity runway lighting for the full runway. This also features medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and you can see them there. And again, precision approach path indicators, this time on the right hand side. So this is all correct as per the chart. This runway features RNAV, GPS and RNP, Y and Z landing options. You also have VOR or high VOR or TACAN, T-A-C-A-N approach options too. Again, consult the charts for those, but there are a little few more landing options here on this runway. So let's take a quick look at 26 right, 08 left, which is the runway used for aircraft with 9 seats or less. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 26 right, which is the runway for use by aircraft with 9 seats or less. And you have medium intensity runway lighting and an RNAV GPS landing option. So pretty much not an awful lot of this airport, but you've got a centerline light as well, which exists pretty much on all of the runways. Again, not shown in the chart list, but it's there and it's going to be helpful. No approach lighting here, except as you can see as the sun goes down, the runway is reasonably well lit, so landing options here should be fine. The charts show no options for 08 left, but we'll go and have a quick look. So here we are at the other end, 08 left, looking down the runway. As you can see, you've got the lighting, which is perfectly standard. No precision approach markers, so realistically this runway used really is for visual approaches only at this end, or you've got the RNAV at the other end, and I would suggest that it would be something of a challenge in the darkness, but I doubt that you'll get to use this runway very much anyway. But there you go, so all the runways look pretty okay. They're as per the charts pretty much, with the exception of the centre line being added, which is not on the chart but really not a problem at all. So 3 runways to choose from, 2 main runways, and yeah, that does it for runways. So let's do the Jetway test now. Okay, so here's my 737-800 on stand Bravo 8 at El Paso. Let's do the Jetway test. Okay, nice head motion there. And the main wheels turn, which is good. That's pretty close to the door, and it's gone through the skin. However, the Jetway looks good. The position is okay. So there's the Jetway close up, looks pretty good. As you can see, as usual with many Jetways, the stairwell here goes into the concrete, but actually not too much here. This is kind of cut off, not really sure about this, but it looks okay. Let's have a close-up look at the side. So there you can see the Jetway, like many, has kind of gone right through the skin, but it's almost close-up. It's not too bad at all. Let's check from the other side. And there you go, it doesn't look so bad from this side. Looks pretty good. Interestingly enough, the wheels don't really look kind of round here. But anyway, it's just an observation, it's not really a problem. Let's have a look inside the Jetway doorway. So first of all, at the bottom there you can see the Jetway doesn't quite touch the side of the aircraft. That's not really a huge problem. So this is the closest I can back away in order to see the door fully opened, which doesn't look too bad, although there's a huge gap there to the right. And here we are looking at the other side, and you can clearly see the rubber's gone right through the skin. But you know, this connection is no worse than anything else. It's an animated Jetway and it works. And there's a view looking from inside the aircraft towards the Jetway doors, which are currently closed. Okay, so let's disconnect the Jetway. And there you go. It's not the best animation in the world, but again, as I said, it works. Your Jetways work, and that's the important thing. So, having done the Jetway test, let's get on with the main tour of the airport scenery now. Okay, here we are. We start with the main tour. We're looking towards the mountains. I just want to see whether this bus actually goes onto the runway or whether it just crosses it. As many of you know who follow my reviews, I do have a little bit of a thing about vehicles going down the runway. Got a feeling this is just going to cross, even though there's a big X there on the right hand side. Well, there you go. Crosses the runway threshold, which is fine. I mean, many of them do that, and it's perfectly okay, really. What I really get annoyed about is when they start going down the runway. If you're on a landing approach, that can be real grief. Anyway, let's start with the tour. Well, we're going west along the airside ramp, and you can have a look. So you've seen quite a bit from the high-level shots that I've shown you. So here's a tour looking at basically the buildings and the ramp. As you can see, the ramp markings are excellent. All the weathering and dirt has been done. The terminal and the buildings, jetways, all look really nice. There's the El Paso sign. So plenty of good ramp markings. It all fits in fairly well too. So we just do a slower pass over the airside ramp going towards landside, just so we can look at the building quality. And again, it's fine. Okay, a little bit of low resolution down there. I do sometimes get a little bit annoyed when they use low res quite so close to really good work on the buildings, but that's a tiny bit there that we didn't really see too much of. But here you can see building quality is excellent, and the roofs are marvellous. And here we're coming round to the other side of the terminal here. More gates, and it just looks fine. It really does. Plenty of weathering. All of the stand numbers prominently displayed. Little bit of texture flickering there. I think that might well be my graphics driver rather than the scenery. Huge car park, left to photo reel, which is kind of a pity really. Would have been nice to see it done in 3D. So let's take a landside tour. And you know what? It looks nice. See, here they've done the car park with a lot more cars, and it's done 3D with vegetation. It looks wonderful. So landside looks pretty nice. Just want to try and get this at the right speed. I don't see any people. Apparently they're supposed to be animated people. They're probably inside the terminal, we'll see. Would have been nice to have a couple of static people just outside here, just to give it a little bit of sort of ambience. But you know what? It looks good. No real complaints. It's visually really nice. Complete with all the airline signs. This is the baggage reclaim end of the terminal, and the terminal's been beautifully modelled. No question about the modelling here. It's wonderful. Just like I said, would have been nice to see the odd passenger figure here and there, just to sort of give this some kind of ambience. But it looks good. The roads are good. The signage is good. Here you've got more signage. I mean, it looks fine, doesn't it? It really does. And here was where it sort of goes off a little bit. Unfortunately, they've left this to photo reel. It's a little bit of a letdown, really, when they've done the central area so well. They really should have continued this, especially since they put cactus there. Look. However, it is what it is. see, when you travel back this way, the difference between the photoreal and the nicely modelled really shows and stands out, and that's something you don't really want. Bit of shadowing on these cactuses. I don't really know why, but no, it looks, this all looks good. There's the entrance, car park entrance. I mean, this has been nicely done. Would have been nice to see the work extended to the rest. You see, as we cross over the airport centre now to the roads, signs are good there on the left, and now we cross over to this car park. I mean, this isn't so bad because you've got so many cars, the photoreal doesn't show up that well, or rather doesn't intrude on the scenery that well for you to worry about it. So a quick tour down to the entrance road and see what's been done here. Again, you've got these cactuses here and there which are really good in my opinion. They really make it. Airport entry signs, car parking signs, very, very nice. A little bit of low-res scenery down there. Here you've got a hotel with a swimming pool and some parallaxing on the windows, which is good. And here as we go off airport to the entrance, not sure why I'm getting shadowing on these cactus, but yeah, no problem, it looks good. Now we go towards the proper landside part, and you can see the low res mixing with 3D. And here you've got this nice statue here, again nicely modelled, beautiful texturing. You can see that it's made of metal, and it looks really good. So let's go back to the stands and have a close look at the stand areas. So here we are looking at the ramp on one of the stands, and if you look through the windows there you can see moving passengers, so those are the animations we were talking about. Jetways look good, fairly simple, but they're modelled correctly and we've seen the jetway working. Here's my Airbus A320neo parked on Bravo 8, and there you get a good look at the stands themselves, and the ground texturing, the ramp concrete texturing looks really good. And just a close-up look at the building itself. Nicely weathered, you can see in through the glass, which is nice, and you've got this truck, which is really good too. So there's another view looking inside the terminal from the airside ramp. Got a few vehicles down there, nicely modelled, no problem with them at all. A couple of baggage drops, which is good. And again, another look inside through the glass at the terminal. This time we're close to stand Bravo 2. And you can see the other side of the jetway here, which is quite nicely modelled too. So here's the main airside building that you'll see if you park up on Bravo 1. Here on the ramp you can see the taxi line and the aircraft stop markings, which are all nicely shown. They're slightly weathered and slightly sort of blurred, and you know what, it works here. You sometimes get a lot of complaints about how new the painting is, and sometimes when they're really weathered they try to make that weather effect, it doesn't quite work. Here I think it's quite nice. You've got the concrete with loads of oil stains and everything, and I think this is just about right. Here you can see the lovely building here. We've got activity inside. There's the elevation of the airport. This is quite a high altitude airport here. And just a quick look towards the west there, you've got the multi-storey car park there, just the other side of the concrete fence. So let's go inside the terminal, have a quick look at some of the animations. Okay, quite a nice terminal interior there, well modelled, nicely done. Passengers look good, some of them are animated, even the one sitting down, which is nice. There's a check-in point, and you've got parallaxing on the windows behind. Would have been nice to see a check-in agent, but there you go. As we get close to the departure boards, unfortunately they're quite blurred. But no, that's fine, that's perfectly okay. Just looking at the other way there, you see what the passenger animations are doing. People are obviously walking around there wondering what's going to happen. And there's the view in the other direction. So here's the other part of the terminal. Again, let's pop inside and see what we can see. Again, nice modelling, a lot more detail here. Signage seems to be better as well. So let's just take a slow run through here and have a look and see what we can see. Here again we've got sort of check-in desks on the left. Computer monitor screens are done, which is nice. Passengers sitting there. Some animations as well. Starbucks. Now that's a high resolution photograph, but because it's high resolution it works pretty well. It doesn't fade that much. Some nice indoor lighting, and the signage is really good. So a little bit of a faster run down here, and you've got various airline desks, all with the different airlines as well. We had American on the left, on Southwest there, and Alaska, and now we're going down to the other gates. Again, you've got these high resolution images that make the shop fittings work better. So here you've got this main concourse entry point here. At the gates at the other end. Oh, it's nice. It looks really good. Like I say, it would have been nice to see a couple of check-in agents at one or two of the desks, but you know, it's okay, it looks good. So here you can see outside of the main departures building landside. What I want to do is to go in and see if there's any development. Okay, so you can see landside's not been done, but that's fine. And there's a nice little mural across there as well to look at as well. And there's a high level shot overview of landside and the parking area. I mean, this is just how good it looks when they take the time to do it. It just gets a little annoying when you do so much work on this and you've got this area which is right adjacent that's basically been left, which is a real pity. Now somewhere here there supposedly is an animated train according to the features. I can't seem to find it, but we'll see whether we can pick that up at some point. So here's the Best Western Hotel, which has been modelled fairly simply. A couple of cactuses and some foliage, literally all sat on low resolution ground, which is a bit of a pity, but there you go, it's been modelled. And here's the Wyndham Hotel, which has also been modelled. This is the one that had the swimming pool in the back. Yeah, it's fine, it's perfectly okay, but again, unfortunately, it's been spoiled because you've got these low resolution car images. And there's a higher level shot showing you the hotel complex itself here. There you've got this little thing slide there, and there's a swimming pool behind there. So we've got this area here. Let's have a look. We go towards the control tower and see what's been done here. Again, there appears to be quite a bit of low resolution stuff here mixed with high resolution work, but it all looks pretty good. Very nice. Not a lot of work done, but it looks good. Let's see if there's anything in the tower. There's the tower itself, and unfortunately the tower's not modelled. So just a view across the airside ramp at this end, some GA aircraft and various hangars, control tower there on the left. And there's a look in the other direction, just to show you. We've also got some taxiway signage down there to the left, which looks good. Again, been more detail and attention paid to those signs, which is good. Interesting building with a cover down there. Fire station. Right, some of this is default modelling now. So coming up towards the threshold of runway 22, this area that I wasn't sure of on the charts is actually cargo. So here it is, this is the cargo apron. A little bit of modelling, nothing fancy, no people. Stands are okay. There's a little bit of lighting I think here as well during the dusk, but we'll look at that later. And here on the other side you can see FedEx trailers. Yeah, not bad at all. A lot more attention paid to landside there, but again you see, look, we've got really low resolution ground scenery which kind of spoils the effect. So going out this direction across the roads there, little bit of work done here, another control tower. All very interesting out here. So there you go, that was the daytime tour. Quite a lot to see. In all, it looks fine. You know, everything you need as a pilot to fly in and out of here looks good. It's all there. Landside looks quite nice, especially this area here has been beautifully done. And they've added some bits and pieces, and unfortunately they've left this area and this area and various others to low resolution, which kind of spoils the effect. Be nice maybe to see an update, maybe to spend some more time working on that. But on the upside, everything you need is here, and remember, this is €1 or so cheaper than the other version. So let's turn the lighting down to dusk now and have a look at the lighting. Okay, so here's the same view. It's 6:30 in the evening local time. The sun is pretty much set, and the lighting looks nice. You know, many of these airports come to life in the darkness hours, and this looks to be no exception here. Very nice view here, lots of lighting, both landside and airside from this shot. And again, most of these areas that are around are also lit, which I think is good. Let's look at the stand. So as I said, the area does seem to come to life a little bit more. Here we are at dusk on stand Bravo 8. There's my aircraft. And if you look at the terminal terminal lighting looks good, and seeing through the glass to seeing the activity inside the terminal, it's great. It really does look good. So while we're on the subject of looking at the terminal here, let's have a look at from the cockpit view. So here's the view from the captain's seat, from the cockpit, straight out there looking. This is what you'll see when you park on Bravo 8, for example. There's a view from the captain's side, and looking out through the first officer's window. All looks quite good. Lovely view of the mountains there with the sunset. Just, you know, the effect, the ambience that it gets created at this time of the evening really brings the airport to life a bit. So a quick look at some of the signage. There's the entrance to runway 04, and you've got the markers there on the left and right hand side. All looks quite good. Green centerline lighting in abundance here, which is good too. And you've got the blue airfield edge lights denoting the boundary of the airfield. There's the landside car park all lit up, and you can see various down lighting on some of the buildings as well, which is really nice. So let's do an airside tour of the ramp. As you can see, it looks lovely. It's a nice view in there through the windows into the terminal. And again, the ramp itself kind of comes to life a little bit more. Looks really good. No Asobo globes floating around, or the light being provided by the correct light sources. Visually looks very, very nice indeed. So we go round the corner here to the other side. Again, you can see inside the terminal, which is a nice effect, and it just works. Okay, a couple of de-icing vehicles there. And it looks good, doesn't it? It really does. So now here we are landside, looking at the same sort of terminal structure. These unfortunately have got Asobo globes floating around, which is a pity. But there you go. It's nice, the lighting looks good. The globes spoil it, unfortunately, and I know for some developers it seems almost impossible to remove them. But other than that, as you can see, the lighting is lovely, the effect is nice. And many of these buildings, so there's no internal development at all, but you know, the signs are lit as well. It looks good. This is the multi-story there. And it's lit inside as well. So here you can see the various hotels and bits and pieces there that are also lit up. Road lighting's good. And I like the way this is done. So the airport at dusk is really nice. So a quick tour of the landside car park. And it's not so bad. At night time, dusk time, it's not so bad. The low resolution car park that's not really been done that to a high degree of quality is not bad at all. And here, look, this is almost impossible to see during the day. Certainly I missed it. But doesn't that look good? Animated flags, one partially lit, some beautiful coloured lighting here, and you've got that big sign in the front of the terminal there. Very nice indeed. It's really nice, very pleasant. And just continuing the tour across the car park. I do like that. That is very, very nice. That's one of the highlights for me. So here's your entry barriers. Nice modelling there. Now let's come up a bit and have a look at the hotel. So parallaxing on the windows with a little bit of lighting, and you get this nice effect. Hotel looks a whole lot better at dusk, I have to say. What was pretty routine and nondescript during the day looks amazingly better at night. There's the Best Western. When you see a little bit of parallaxing on the windows, just brings it to life a lot more. There's the swimming pool. It's lovely. This is a huge improvement. So here you've got other buildings. Again, lighting is there. Rental car return sign. And there's a high-level overview of the airport itself. In the foreground you can see the terminals with the stands. You've got landside, that beautiful lighting there. To the left, runway 0422, the longest runway, all beautifully lit. Plenty of green centerline lighting. Here you got 08 left, 08 right, 26 left, which is the other long runway mainly used. And there in the distance you can see the runway for the aircraft with less than 9 seats. More lighting down here, and then you've got the cargo area over there which is lit, and again various off-airport lighting here too. So, high level shot. Let's turn the lighting down to night time now. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see the sun is completely gone, and now we're left with the runways and the centre area as it is in the night time. Lighting's come up a bit as I would expect it to. I really like this. You've got this tungsten yellow effect here where they've used tungsten lighting instead of LED lighting on the airside ramp. Many airports do this, and it looks quite effective. So here we are on Bravo 8, my aircraft. I'm not going to spend too much time at night time, just really want to have a look at the lighting and see what changes there are. As you can see, there's plenty of light. You're not going to have any problems parking or pushing back. To the right you've got green centerline lighting, so there's not really going to be any problems getting to and from the runway. And there's another view of this satellite end, and here you can see the centerline lighting, the green lights that will help you get to where you need to go. The taxiway signage is good and it's well lit. Very quick pass over landside. It all looks lovely. Let's head towards the airport exit, somewhere we didn't look at very much in the dusk before now. But as you can see, there's some signage here as well. That's really nice lighting on the figure. There you got the Welcome to El Paso sign that lights up at night, which is very impressive. And you've got our statue there that's been lit beautifully. I mean, that's lovely. That's a very nice image. There's a lot to like about this airport, the way it's been modelled, the features that's been put in. It does have its downsides. There's a lot of low resolution imagery, which in my humble opinion should have been made in 3D with the rest of the airport. But as I said, I accept in many cases scenery designers decide to go to a certain point and don't want to go any further, and that's fair enough. But when you have little modelling, good, excellent modelling features like this, you know, it just makes the airport worthwhile. And again, another airport that comes to life during the darkness hours. So many features in this airport look better at dusk and night time than during the day. But as I've said before, everything is there for you pilots to enjoy, and these are just a little icing on the cake. And there's a last view looking from landside toward airside at night time. And the lighting is lovely. It is very, very nice. One of the best features of this airport project. So let's bring up the dawn. So before we go up to dawn, I just want to show you something here that I've not seen before. In many cases when you reset the time, you get a situation where the lights on the ground, they reach a certain point and then at some second they disappear completely. This is the first scenery where I've seen the light disappear in stages. So we're now at 7:05. I'm going to basically move it up 1 minute at a time and watch the lighting. See, it starts to disappear stage by stage. Still have the central area lighting. Now you've got the sun shining on the airport itself. Still have the car park lighting there. And now it begins to disappear. So now 7:35, literally half an hour later, and the airport is there in the dawn. So there's the same view at the dawn. I'm really quite impressed with that. I wish a lot of airport designers would do that, because it would look so much more realistic. I don't know how much you'd notice it, and okay, it's a small thing, but I tend to notice things like this, and yeah, kudos to the guys for staging their lighting changes. It looks really good, and yet another feature that Flight Sim 2020 offers that can be utilized by the designers. So 8:35 AM, just an hour later, and here's the view looking across the airport central area. And time to wrap up this review. Firstly, the big question that I always get asked, do I think it's worth the price? Yes, I do. The price is not too bad. Remember, those prices include VAT and tax. 20 euros, $21 US, just over £17 UK. Not bad at all. They are a little on the high side, but they're about right. There's a lot of low resolution here. Car park here, for example, and the Far car park, and much of the other airport. But there's also a lot of really fine detail. The central area landside is beautifully modelled, as are the gates and the internal parts of the terminal, the taxiways and the apron concrete, the dirt and everything. There's a lot of modelling and work gone into that. And so when you balance the two together, I think the price is about right. And remember, this is a huge airport. It's a high-level airport with 3 runways, 2 of them that are quite long. And it sits in a big plain here. Lots to do, I think. And they've done quite a good job. I accept that they wanted to go only so far. And that's fine. But you've got everything you need flying in and out of here. And a few more bits and pieces, very lovingly placed, I have to say, that look wonderful in the darkness hours. So yeah, I do think it's worth the money. There's a certain balance that always needs to be achieved where you can with these things, and I think the DOMINIC design team have done a nice job here. Having said that, what would I like to see? Okay, I'd like to see some of the 3D car parks done, or some of the low-res car parks maybe enhanced, but that's not a massive problem, to be honest. It'd be nice to see a couple of people placed in various places landside as well, in the car parks outside the terminal, and possibly the landside in terminal done. If they have time and they fancy doing that, be a nice update for, say, version 1.3 or 4. But as it is, as a standalone as it is, it's great. I have no problems with it. It's wonderful, and I will fly into this airport. I will use it. It's a nice scenery. The only thing I cannot find, it mentions an airport train animation. I can't find a track or a train anywhere. If anybody who knows El Paso Airport can alert me as to whether or not there's a train there, or whether perhaps it was a misprint in the features list, I would be very grateful if you guys could do that. So there you go, wrapping up this scenery. This is El Paso International Airport in Texas, Kilo Echo Lima Papa. It's a payware scenery by the DOMINIC design team, and this is version 1.2 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. Downloads at 782 meg, installs at 2.96 gig, just under 3 gig. Currently available at Sim Market for €19.80, which equates to roughly $20.20 US, or £17.16 UK. Again, the US and UK prices are estimates from the euro, and they include tax or VAT, which may vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. A very nice airport, in my opinion, slightly better, I think, than the competition, although this isn't meant to be a sort of a check between the two of them, but I do think this is the better of the two, and it's €1 or so cheaper than the other version too, which is obviously in its favour. So thanks for joining me, folks. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up the first of this week's 2 reviews. Look out for the second review this week, where we'll be looking at Mactan Cebu International Airport in the Philippines as the second busiest airport over there. So that's a new payware scenery that's come out. It's been out a few days now, and we'll be taking a close look at that. I'd like to say thank you for all of you guys who are getting me very close to 1,000 subscribers now. I think I'm up to 915. And for those marvellous people who bought me a copy recently, thank you ever so much. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're viewing my project here for the first time, I've got over 400 videos out, most of which are reviews of various types of scenery and a couple of adventure videos. Check out the helicopter video I released last night of a wonderful little airport in Australia. You might be interested to see that. But I will see you in the next video review this week, where, as I said, we'll be heading to the Philippines in Asia, and we'll have a look at that airport. So thank you again for watching, and Yep, see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.